Steve and I met through the fire department. We worked at the same department together. We were both married prior, and then we both got divorced about the same time. But we were just really good friends through everything, and then slowly that moved into more than a friendship, and we started dating, and that moved into marriage. And we were married for 14 and a half years. He has 4 kids and I have a daughter, and we now have 13 grandchildren. Yes, and he was the head of our family.
Tom and I met back when he was on the first fire department, which was West Patterson, also known as Woodland Park now. He got himself up into ranks to be a lieutenant there. While he was on the fire department there, I had joined the EMS squad, local squad there. So we met, started dating shortly after Memorial Day. Then we went into an apartment together shortly thereafter. He was married prior to, so he has a son from his first marriage. We then moved out to Flanders. Had been out there for about a year, and then not even, and he wanted to join the fire department out there. So he was on there for 7 years before we lost him. Him and I have a son together, Brandon, and he was my rock, my inspiration, and supported me through everything, going back to school and everything. Always a great supporter. My son now is 13, was 11 when we lost him, and he's doing excellent. He's following in his father's footsteps. His father always said that he regretted not becoming an Eagle Scout. That was one thing that he enforced, and he told him that he would like him to become an Eagle Scout, and he is now 2 steps away from making Eagle Scout. So very impressed with him, and he definitely wants to do it to honor his father. Tom was one of those man's men, you want to say. He always wanted to do something for someone else, always put himself on the back burner. I don't know how he had time to do everything, but he would be there for his friends at the drop of a dime, and would be helping this one out and helping that one out with anything. His best friend was the chief of the department at the time, Greg, and next thing I knew, he was over there helping him with a fence. They just on a whim went out and bought material and put up a new fence. Always just wanted to help those out. And he also wanted to spend a lot of family time together. We go to Disney quite often. That was our thing, so needless to say, that was definitely hard to go back this past year for the first time without him. But he definitely, family, community, firehouse, he made it all work. I don't know how, but he did.
Huge. Steve was the fire marshal in our area. He was over 5 cities in the county, and he was passionate about making our community safe. He was passionate about the fire sprinklers. He was huge into plan reviews, getting all the new buildings ready and up and running, and fire safety, and he couldn't have pushed education harder. He was huge on education. He worked with all the city managers, the engineers, he was on 24/7. His phone never stopped ringing. We were even in Florida on vacation, and he's answering phone calls. But that was just him. I just accepted that's how it was, and that's what he loved, and that's what he did. And it was like, this is just him. So it was all good for me. So, but he always thought about his own kids and his grandkids. If they were to go into that building, he wanted to make sure it would be safe for them. So, and that was his pushing force, I think, behind everything. So, yeah, he was huge on education. He loved working with little kids. That was Steve. He would get on the floor and roll around with them. I mean, was instrumental in getting a smoke trailer for our department, and through a grant. And the day we got the grant and it came through, I've never seen him happier. He was so excited just because of all the things he could do in it to improve it for the kids. So he lit up. It was so much fun for him. So he worked very, very hard. Like I say, 24/7 for our department. Steve was the go-to guy. If somebody needed to know something about codes or, buildings or whatever, he was the man they called. So, smart man, very smart man. I was okay with that because Steve didn't like to be in the front. He was not a front runner person, didn't want to be the spotlight. He was a very backdoor guy. He was very much the let somebody else have the glory. I don't mind doing the work type of person.
Exactly how Tom was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom was the same way. He always wanted to see how he could improve the department. Same thing with education and training. He was making the guys go to classes and they were grumbling and moaning, but darn, because Tom suggested it, they did it. He always looked for a way to improve everything. They were very much alike.
We've been shocked at how much our husbands were alike. We've been teasing that they could have been twins. And we just firmly believe that they've put us together because they were so much alike. Because we're a lot alike too on things we believe and how we are. So it's been a great match.
Yeah.
Because I think they're a lot more alike than we are.
Yeah.
With their everything. They're a lot more alike than we are.
Between stuff with the fire service and even
Yeah.
outside the fire service. Both of them with the most toys that the boys could have.
Yep.
They both had it and
They both loved to
expensive
cook.
and they both loved to cook.
Yep.
They both hunted at one time and they both stopped hunting because they both put their efforts into redoing the house. I mean, it's just, they're like two peas in a pod.
Absolutely. It's almost kind of spooky.
Probably would have been the best of friends.
Oh, I
had
think
they known each
we
other.
know they would have been the best of friends. Absolutely. They would have fed off each other.
Yeah, I'm almost afraid of that one.
I know, so am I. So, yeah.
Well, we had met, like you said, we were both honored last year. Lost our husbands in 2011. We met at the Survivors Conference out in Arizona. And we both actually had the same kind of feeling when we went out to Arizona. The first day we were there, I was very unsure of myself and kind of thought about going home. But Karen will explain she had the similar thought. We stayed there, went through it, didn't even realize we had signed up for pretty much a lot of the same classes. Started talking about both of our husbands, and they were both family guys into the fire service. Absolutely wonderful. For me, myself, coming back as a returning survivor for the first year means a lot. I was actually pretty excited to come back knowing I would see Karen and see the others that I have connected with. Like I said, unfortunately the circumstances are horrible, but this is a family in which they totally, as I say, get it. My friends are there for me at home, but they truly just don't understand. But this is a family where they totally understand. And coming back, I've already met a couple of new survivors, have spoken with a couple people, and if I can just offer a little bit to them, that the foundation and those that I've met to me, it makes me feel good, just to let them know that they are not alone.
I totally agree with everything she just said. When we met at the conference that first night, I called my daughter, just sobbing. I said, I want to come home. And I got up the next morning and I met this wonderful person, and it changed my life. And I wanted to give back what so many wonderful people have given to me. They've been so open and loving. And and like she says, you have friends at home
but they don't, I mean, they want to so bad to understand and to help you, and they do help you in certain ways. But these people, they know, they've been there, they've been in your shoes, they feel every pain, they know what you're going through. And they don't judge you. Not that my friends judge me, but they understand that you don't have to get over this overnight. And it's okay to be where you're at, and it's okay to have the feelings that you're having, and to have your moments of breakdowns, and also within 5 seconds laughing your butt off because you're thinking of something funny that your husband did, or, you know, I mean, it's just, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that word, but anyway, but it's like that. They know, they understand, and you can feel so comfortable with them, and I want to be able to do that to the new survivors. I want them to know that I'm here for them, and I understand, and I'll do anything I can to make this easier, even though it's not going to be easy at all, because it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life. But I want to be able to give back some of what was given to me, because it has meant the world to me.
With Karen, her kids are a little bit older.
Yeah.
Mine are a little bit younger. I have to say a huge thank you to the foundation.
Absolutely.
My son went to camp. They have the kids camp. He went to camp this past summer. And he made a connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very happy. Him and his buddy have been running around this weekend like anything. They are 2 peas in a pod.
Yep.
And he, same thing. He has friends at home that are, they're good, but, they're hesitant on how to handle things and don't know exactly what to say to him. But he met a wonderful kid. So Brandon and Colton are hanging out, and they have been pretty well inseparable this weekend. And unfortunately, they also live a long distance. They're from Alabama. We're from New Jersey, but they keep in touch on their gamer tag on Xbox and, text each other, and it's wonderful. I'm glad that he made a connection as well. And it's all from the foundation.
But I remember Nicole telling me too that before he went to camp, that he really didn't want to go. He was really hesitant to go. And then once he got there and he met his friend Colton, and they bonded and they started doing the things they were doing. It was like, in the last day, he's like, "Mom, I can't wait to come back next year." And she was like, "This is what it's about. This is why I brought him." And that was huge for him. Huge.
It's wonderful.
It is.
Like you were just saying, I mean, and we didn't even know, I was telling Karen, we didn't even know when I went away for the camp. Like she said, Brandon was very hesitant in going. Very glad that he did go. And it was weird because he hung out with Colton, and I happened to be hanging out with another survivor wife. And little did I know, Lisa was Colton's mom. So we were hanging out all weekend, and we didn't even realize that it was our 2 sons that connected. So it's just amazing how things happen.
There's a higher being putting everything together. That he was very honorable, very honest, very giving, that he was a very hard worker, that adored his family, and he was the best grandpa ever, and he loved me more than anything, and I know that. He was just an all-around great guy. I couldn't have asked for a better husband or father for my kids. He, when we got married, he took my daughter in, and she was older. She was already 18. In fact, she was 20 when we got married. And to Steve, there was no step whatsoever. Sarah was his daughter, period. And she turned to Steve. And then when we had our granddaughter, the bond he had with her was totally unbreakable.
sun rose and set on Grandpa in her eyes, and still does to this day. But there was a time when Steve's daughter, she had her first son, and one of his old neighbors came up to him and he said, I bet you're really glad that you finally have one of your own. And Steve looked at him and he's like, what do you mean one of my own? Well, one of your own, a blood grandchild. And Steve said, and McKenna, we were in an area when we were all together where all the kids were there. And Steve looked at him and he says, I want you to go over there and tell that little girl right there that I'm not her grandpa. And he looked at him kind of funny and he says, because I'm going to sit back over here and I'm going to watch her take you down. Because nobody on this planet is going to tell me that I'm not her grandpa and that she's not my granddaughter. He was just that kind of man. I mean, like I said, there was no step in our family. None. They were all our kids. They're all our grandkids. Period. So that's the kind of man he was.
I think I would want everyone to know about Tom is he's my guardian angel. Same thing like Steve, he was a family man. His kids came first, family came first. Communication was so key for him. He was a jokester. Everyone knows he was the big jokester, but to try and play joke on him didn't go over so well. Honest, true, loving. I think the hardest part is it's okay. No, you won't see my son graduate, get married. But I hope that both of his boys, even my stepson, have a part of his name in him, and I hope that they will honor that. His name is, my niece even just had a daughter, just turned 2. She's named after Tom, and we feel he was definitely the guardian angel that we know he is. She had the cord wrapped around her neck, and she's the cutest little thing right now. You'd never know it. So she has a middle name of Thomas. And her mom said, my niece said, she will explain to her when she gets older why she has a man's name as a middle name. But he definitely was a family man, loving, truly going to be missed, always in our hearts. Not a day goes by I don't think of him, or sometimes even cursing him. But it's okay. We'll go on. I know he'd want us to go on.